Hey everybody, and welcome back to the HobbiWerks channel. In our last video we talked about taking a look at chrome finishes. So today we've got a variety to choose from. We're going to be doing some prep on some plastic, and we'll take a look, see what kind of results we can come up with. Stick around, guys. Okay guys, first up, let's take a look at what we're going to be testing, and we're going to be comparing these kind of head to head and see how they do. First up is an old standby. Now you guys have seen me use All-Clad in the past, and you know it's one of my old standbys. I've been using this for pushing, I guess, 12, 15 years, ever since it came out, and I'll tell you a little about that in just a moment too. But All-Clad Chrome, we're going to be using that. We're going to be doing a fresh look, and some of these, like the All-Clad and the Green Stuff World, I did a product review on, so, but this is a fresh comparison against these newer ones too. But the Green Stuff World, we're going to be taking another look at that. We're also going to be looking at AK Super Chrome. I've heard some great things about this. And I've heard some great things about the new Revell Chrome, and we'll be taking a look at that too. So we'll be looking at that. We're also going to be looking at Tester's new Chrome. Remember, I had the black Chrome as well, and we are going to be shooting some of that as well. But I'm curious to see how this Tester's Chrome says bright reflective finish, quick dry, indoor, outdoor. We're going to find out. And then we'll be looking, of course, at the new Revell Chrome spray. And again, this, like the AK, I have heard great things about. This will be my first experience with it. Let me give you a little disclaimer there too. I have in the past, the first time I used any type of chrome paint was, I think it was a Duplicolor or something. It had the cap kind of like this, and this is the Rust-Oleum. And speaking of which, we will be taking a look at the Rust-Oleum Chrome. I saw someone on one of the other channels use this maybe a week ago, and I was stunned at the results he got with it. I'm curious how he did his prep work, and we're going to talk about that too. But so we're going to be testing that one. But what I was saying is the Duplicolor, I think it was, that I used years ago, I think it was about 1990, 89 or 90, and I got some awesome results. I mean, it turned out great on some bumpers. And a few years later, I used the same stuff again, and I was not pleased. I did not get the same result. Maybe I didn't prep it the same, I'm not sure. But we're going to prep everything exactly the same today, and we're going to take a look at it. The other thing we're going to look at is the gold or brass kind of look. There's a lot of the old cars from the 1900s through the 1920s that had that brass gold look to it. And I know Matthew over at Model Car Videos, Matt's also been looking at a new replacement for that. I got another idea if this doesn't work, but we're going to give them both a fair shot, and we're going to prep things a little differently and see how they turn out. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, one other thing is, for a reflective surface, I'm not sure. When I think of polished brass, I think of like a trumpet. Well, this is All-Clad 2's polished brass. This is ALC 109, and to me that looks like tarnished brass. If that, it always has that just brown color. Well, we're going to shake this up good. We're going to prep different surfaces and different colors, and then we're going to give this a fair shot too, see how that turns out as well. Let's see. Well, let's just go ahead and get into some of the prep work. Okay guys, we're going to be testing our colors on some good old-fashioned heavy-duty spoons, plastic spoons. And I have heard it said that this is not a good thing to do because it's not the same type of plastic that the models are made out of. But to be honest with you, once it's sealed and primed, the surface shouldn't really matter, because just like the plastic and rubberized bumpers that you see on cars and the metal, the paints are the same. And over the years, when I've used spoons to test colors and then hold it up to the actual finished car, it's the same. If you remember my Fab Shop Pontiac, same thing. The spoons I tested with different backgrounds, different primers, different bases, they turned out to be the exact same color that's on the actual model. So I think if it's sealed and primed, you're going to get the same results. So we're going to be using these, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take a piece of masking tape, and I'm going to be, instead of doing the whole spoon, the reason I'm doing this is so I can mark the spoons as far as what primer, what base, and what color we're going to be using. And then after this, after we get it prepped, by the way, I took all the spoons I'm using and I dropped them in some warm soapy water and I washed them off, just like you need to do with your models. You want to prep that plastic so any of the mold release is removed from the plastic. So I washed these off, let them dry, and then rubbed them down and dried them off really good. And the reason I put this tape on here is I'm going to prime everything. But on the other side of this, I've got my Sharpies here. And if it's a Tamiya, then like, for example, TS14 is gloss black. I will put TS14. So I know that's what that is. I'm going to use black for the testers, base coats, and the different things like that. But that'll be on the spoons. And when I remove this, I'll be able to write that on the opposite side up here, and then I keep this in my pile of stuff. But these are all going to be kind of the chrome stuff, and we're going to do different surfaces. And what we're going to be using is, I'm going to use as a primer and a sealer Tamiya's fine surface primer on everything. There is going to be about several spoons, probably 6 or 7 I'm going to leave just like this. They're just going to be white plastic because I want to see how this stuff reacts directly on the plastic. There are a few of these that say apply to bare plastic. Nah, so we're going to give that a try and see. One of the bases we're going to use is TS26. This is pure white and it's a high gloss, so we'll be applying that to some spoons. TS14, which is the gloss black, we're going to be applying that. And I'm also going to use Testers 1247 gloss black. Back when All-Clad first was introduced, before they came out with their black base, they recommended using Testers gloss black under the chrome. And I have used theirs. In fact, I still have a pretty decent sized bottle of the All-Clad gloss black. But I'll be honest with you, I like the Testers results better. So I'm going to be using the Testers enamel. And keep in mind here, we're going to be testing this over a gloss enamel and a gloss lacquer. So we're going to see how these two do. I'm also going to be putting it down over this because I'm curious about it. This is Testers' new black chrome. Bright reflective finish, quick dry, just like the chrome, but this is black chrome. And if you look at the colors, it's a little bit lighter than the black. And I don't know if you can see it in this light, but anyway, so we're going to be trying this bright reflective finish black chrome. I'm curious about it, so we'll be checking that out too. So let's get started prepping these. Remember, make sure you wash the spoons in some Dawn or some degreaser. Get all the residue off just like you do your other kits, as I said. Once they dry, wipe them down real good. I used an old silk handkerchief. Get everything wiped down real good. And the last thing we do before we actually shoot the primer on in each of the color coats is we're going to use our Tamiya static brush. There's nothing more frustrating than having a super great gloss paint job and having trash get into it. Now, you know, for the most part, you can sand that out, but when it comes to chrome, that's a whole different story. So you're going to want to make sure that there's no static and there's no lint. This brush, if you'll go back and look at the video I did on product review for this brush, this is great. If you remember the shavings, and it picked up static electricity, it picked up junk off the desk, and then we brushed that off, went back down, and it had removed the static, so there was no lint or anything like that. So we're going to be taking and getting the static electricity and any dust off. We want these to be as free of any dust as possible. Now, sometimes in this scale, it's going to be next to impossible to do, even with this. But we're going to give it a good shot anyway, and then we're going to shoot it. We'll get all that done, and then we'll come back, take a look at them, and then we'll start applying our colors. Stick around, guys. Before we apply our color coats, I want to review real quick the bases that I chose to use. To me, a primer has always been a good primer, and I like their fine surface primer as far as finishing goes, because it's just so smooth. And as you can see, that anti-static brush made sure we didn't get any trash in the primer. We did about we did all of them in this first, and then we went back and applied our color coats. The only exception to that will be the 7 or 8 spoons that we just left white. First off, let's look at the testers gloss black. This is the enamel, and we did 6 or 8 of these as well. And like I said before, I've always had good results with the testers. It's just a beautiful gloss black finish. And again, the anti-static brush made sure we didn't get really anything in it. Of course, once the chrome goes on it, if there's something on it, we're going to see it. This one I'm a little disappointed in. This was the black chrome. Now, as you saw in the video, when it went on, it was very slick, very smooth. But as you can see, there's no comparison. This is more of a semi-gloss. I love the color. It's a good gunmetal-y steel color. I do like it, and we are going to go ahead and apply a little of it on here and just see how it goes. But it's not the reflective, as the can indicates. It's reflective finish. It is certainly not that, but we're going to give it a try on a few of them, and we'll see how it looks. And then next up, we've got the lacquer, which was the Tamiya TS14. And let me grab one of the testers here. Looks really good. Actually, the testers looks a little clear, a little bit haze here, but we're gonna wipe these off real good and then hit them with the anti-static brush again too. But still, beautiful finish there as well on the Tamiya TS14 black. And you notice again, there's no, well, it's kind of hard to see, but there's no trash from the anti-static brush. Kind of did its job again there. There's no specks or anything in there. And again, when we hit the chrome on it, we'll see it for sure if there is something that we can't see. And then lastly, I chose to do the gloss white. And the reason I did gloss white is, if you remember, in my Fab Shop car, I did the base in gloss black, gloss white. That was the Tamiya gloss black, gloss white, and semi-gloss. And using the same colors, I got 3 different effects. If you remember the spoon test there too, different colors yielded a different kind of tone. And as you see in those pictures there. But I think it really did good. So I thought what we would do is we would try this, especially since we're going to be using this polished brass as well. Anything like that, I just want to see how it's going to look on gloss. So we'll give that a shot. Okay, well, that's our base colors. So let's get started. all our painting is done. Time to take a look at the results. And we're going to start with all clad. As I said, my always go-to for many years now. The all clad chrome ALC 107. One of my favorites. I use it quite a bit. And as you see here, you've got some different tones. And let's take a look first at the Testers gloss black, and a really good reflective finish. As you see here, let me use these red tweezers here. As you can see, got a really good finish. Let's see, there we go. Next up was that black chrome, which didn't turn out to be too chrome, but as you see, it's kind of dull in comparison. Quite a bit of difference there. I know it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but there's really no mirror-like finish on this. Next up was the Tamiya TS14 Gloss Black. And as you can see, we got pretty much the same reflective finish as we did with the Testers. In fact, the Testers looks to be a little bit brighter. But to my surprise, the Tamiya Gloss White, check that out, compared, it's a brighter color. And let me move the lighting over here a little bit closer, and let's take a look at that again. As you can see, the Gloss White is a lighter tone, same paint, little bit brighter. I still think I like the over the Gloss Black, but I think it turned out really well. And next up was our Green Stuff World. And our Green Stuff World pretty much turned out almost exactly the same as our all clad did. You see the Testers, really good reflective. Well, I think I need to move the light back where it was so you can see it in this angle. But a good chrome look. Again, that Testers black chrome, just dull. And what we're going to do, by the way, is take the best of the three of these, and then we'll compare them with each other. And this is the Tamiya Gloss Black. Really a nice looking chrome, and it did the same thing as before as with the white. And check that nice finish out over that gloss white there too. It's a little brighter, but I think that's really nice. That's really nice. The one that I was skeptical about to begin with was the Testers Chrome, which it says there, bright reflective finish. But I was skeptical about this. And I only did 2 spoons simply because from airbrushing, I decanted that and fresh and shot it straight over, as most testers you can do, right on bare plastic. So this spoon was just bare plastic. And you see it's just a pretty bright silver, but it's just silver. And this is over gloss black, which reflective-wise, you should have something like this, and there's no comparison. I mean, there's no reflection. It's just silver, a darker silver paint. So I didn't waste any of the spoons going back and trying to do that again. So I just kind of left that alone. Now, getting to kind of the cream of the crop, the things I have been hearing about quite a bit for some time was the AK Super Chrome. And put that in the airbrush, and if you noticed in the video, at first it was turning out rather dull, and the reason for that was I forgot to turn. When I'm airbrushing all clad and Green Stuff World, I shoot at about 7 to 10 pounds of pressure, so it's really cranked down. And I actually shot the testers that way and then went back and cranked it up and tried it again, and it still didn't do anything. But once I realized that I had my pressure too low and went back to about 20 pounds, check that out. This looks like kit chrome, or I mean, this is excellent stuff. And I again apologize, guys. The lighting in here apparently is not giving it what it needs. But this is the AK over the testers. And I'll be honest with you, if you look at all of them, these pretty much look exactly the same, no matter what the surface was. The testers gloss black, the testers, oh, that was the chrome black, the Tamiya gloss black, the Tamiya gloss white, and as you can see, that's pretty much exactly the same. And then over gray Tamiya primer and just bare plastic. And I think it looks better over the primer. There's a little bit of difference in that one. That's the only one. But the AK, I'm impressed. Its durability, I've been rubbing on the thing, and it's looks pretty good so far. So I'm impressed. And by the way, the reason this video is late is I've let these things sit. I've tried to be fair about it and let everything sit and cure. And I'm impressed with this AK. This is just an absolutely beautiful chrome. Very nice finish. And the one that kind of impressed me the most, hold on, let me grab it real quick. Okay, guys, I'm back. Hands down, the most brilliant of the chrome. I mean, and again, I keep apologizing for the lighting, but that's just the way it is. This is absolutely flawlessly beautiful, and it's the only one I really didn't decant. Well, that's not true. There's two others I didn't decant, and I'll show you those in a minute. But and that is the Revell Chrome Spray. This one I had heard right out of, spraying it is awesome. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a fair shot. But be warned, with these different coverings, all of them look almost identical, but there are some flaws in them. And I think it's the base that they're reacting to. Again, this video is a little late because I gave it extra time to dry the bases before I hit them, and then I gave them extra time to dry it to see if there was going to be a reaction to any of the other base coats. This stuff, though, is awesome. It's the most brilliant of the chromes, crystal clear. Over the testers, and this is the testers gloss black. This is actually that chrome black. And as you can see, they are just perfect. No flaws, no just, and it is the best reflective as far as chrome goes. This, where the others you can see the reflection, you can actually read what's on the tweezers there. These are just absolutely fantastic mirror-like finishing. Now, the testers colors, after a day, have in the dehydrator to boot, have reacted very well to the Revell. And this one is over just the gray primer, and you see there's no real problem there, other than you see that little, and I'm going to see if that'll wipe out. This is just over the Tamiya primer. This is over the Tamiya TS14 gloss black, and you see the little, look like cracks or little spider webs. And if I can hold it in just, you can see that on the Tamiya primer. And you see, you can see it right there over the gloss black, and it also over the Tamiya. So it's a lacquer that's reacting to it. So I would recommend, and I'm going to try it again with just straight automotive primer, which that lacquer that is the Tamiya is pretty much close to that. But as a base coat goes, the enamel from testers There hasn't been any reaction whatsoever. Looks really good. And just straight over the bare plastic, this one's got a little trash in it, but straight over the bare plastic, there's no problems with it. And I've taken and rubbed and all that stuff, and it's not coming off. I mean, it's looking pretty good. I am a little bit disappointed with, because I figured this lacquer from Tamiya would probably be pretty good, but it has had some kind of reaction. So we'll, like I said, again, I'll test that with automotive primer and see. But I think overall this is the best of the chromes that's chromier, or the chromiest out of all of them. And next up, I wanted to, well, let me go ahead and do these as well too. This is the Rust-Oleum, and as I was spraying this finish, when I shot it over the black, it looked really good. But as it dried, as you can see, that turned, there's no comparison. As far, well, let me get one of the good ones here. There's no comparison whatsoever. This is just silver paint. And same thing over the gloss white, same thing over the gloss black, and just over the plain plastic. So this was just, it's just silver paint. So I was a little disappointed with that. And the one I was really hoping was going to turn out really, really nicely, in fact, I'm going to throw those away, was going to be this polished brass from All-Clad. I was hoping that this was going to look really good over the gloss black, that it would come out. And on the gloss black, it wasn't that bad. As you can see, it's a little darker than I would want for brass, but you can see the red reflection there. It's not bad, but it's certainly not polished. It's more of an old brass look, but it's not bad. It's not bad. So you do have, you can see my finger there, a little bit of reflection in it. Over the black chrome, you can see there's a huge difference there. It's just dull. It's just gold, or brass or whatever. This one is the TS24 or 26 white, and you can see it's not as shiny. The gloss white is not as shiny as over the tester's black. This was just over the bare plastic, and again, it's just gold. This one was over primer, which actually is duller than just over the bare plastic. And the only other one that looked pretty decent was the TS14 gloss black. And wait a minute, yeah, the gloss black was okay. But I think the testers by far, and I tried to put the same number of coats on them, and you can see the red and the reflection. It's not bad, but it's not that brass, polished, shiny look that I was looking for. Not yet. But I have an idea that I'm going to be sharing with you too in the next video, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. And the last thing was the Rust-Oleum metallic gold, and it's got the mirror finished chromy gold cap on it, and I was hoping that over the right thing that was going to turn out really well, and so we shot that on a variety of spoons as well. And this was over the TS14 gold, or excuse me, gloss black, and as you can see, it's brighter than the All-Clad polished brass, but it's not nearly as reflective. Next one was the TS26, which was the gloss white, which isn't bad. It just, you can see a little bit of reflection in it, but it's just not, it's still not that highly polished look. And I know I'm getting nitpicky about some of it, but, and these two were they just turned out a dull gold. and these are over the gray primer and the bare plastic. The bare plastic actually crazed a little bit. But yeah, hey, this is just, that's why we do this, just to find out. So what do we think? What are my impressions over which ones? By far, I think among the all-clads, the testers, it came down to the testers or the Tamiya base. And I still like the testers. It seems to be a little bit brighter, a little bit crisper. I'd have to admit, I do like the brighter chrome of the white. That's going to be a personal preference, though, guys, as far as the white or the... I think, to me, this looks a little more like real chrome. So the testers with the gloss black and the Tamiya bright white, I think those two look really good. I still, again, sway a little toward the darker one. And in the green stuff world, I think it's going to be about the same thing. Well, actually, with the green stuff world, I think the TS14, the gloss black and the gloss white turned out pretty close to the same there. In fact, I still like the testers even over this one. In the AK, wow, it's hard to pick one because they all turned out absolutely so great in the AK. And it's kind of it really, if you look at it, it's a medium, kind of between the white and the black of the all-clad and the green stuff world. But all of the, if you remember there, all of the AKs turned out almost identical. Really smooth, really great finishes. But I do like that. And then lastly, as far as the brightness of the chromes, the chromiest has got to be the Revell by far. The Revell is just absolutely, well, I grabbed the one with that's the Tamiya. Let's grab these with the bare plastic, which I just can't get over. That's turned out so well. That's the tester's base on both of these, and then that's the bare plastic. But check that out. I mean, it's just... But this seems to be by far the best as far as the chrome goes. And I'm an all-clad guy, so I tend to want to stay with that. Again, that's that great reflective finish that I've used for so long, and I've gotten used to. So, and I'm old school, you know. Change is hard. But after looking at the brightness of the AK and the Revell, I think that's the way to go, is with the Revell or the AK, because these are just absolutely beautiful, beautiful finishes. Both of them are pretty even. I like this. I'm glad I did this, because as much as I like the all-clad, this is honestly a much brighter, a much truer chrome look. And I'm thinking, instead of spraying it like I did with this straight out of the can, for this anyway, decant it so I can control the flow a little bit better. And then, of course, the AK, this stuff was so good that when I went to clean the airbrush bowl out, the airbrush bowl was chrome. I mean, that's how well it covered that. Well, here's a picture of it. Cool, huh? But so that's my impressions of the chrome. And I'm going to do another video, and I'm going to cover these candy colors that all-clad has, and I want to show you a few things. And experimenting on that brass finish, I have an idea that I think is going to work. How well it works, well, or how poorly it works, we're just going to see. Well, that's it, guys. Again, the AK and the Revell Chrome, by far superior to anything that I tested today. And we did it on different background surfaces, enamel, lacquers, things like that, and bare plastic, and turned out great. I was pleased with the results. Okay, guys, I think that'll do it for this one. The next one will be on those candy colors and playing with that brass. Guys, if you're not a subscriber, head over, hit that sub button. We would appreciate it very much. Any help to the channel would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to help the channel out, that's how you do it. Give us a sub, give us a thumbs up. We truly appreciate all your support. And head over to the Teespring store. Check out what's over there. Pick you up a sticker, coffee mug, t-shirts, hoodies. There's all kinds of stuff over there for the cooler weather that's coming up. So check it out. Well, guys, thanks so much again. Remember, God loves you. I love you. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Later.